the 15th of September 2025. Stillness breaks over Venezuela's western highlands. High above, a Reaper drone scans with unblinking eyes. Infrared feedlocks on a convoy stirs below. 10 trucks grind across the valley, trail engines growling. 6 trucks carry 76 tons of crystal meth. 1 truck hides an unbelievable treasure, $220 million in cash. A rolling fortress of drugs, money, and guns. Nearly 80 escorts bristling with rifles and RPGs. For months, American intelligence tracked the Sierra Verde cartel. This convoy was the artery feeding a mountain empire. If untouched, it could bankroll another decade of violence. From a riverbank command post, U.S. leaders made their call. Interdict. Seize, dismantle. The trap was set. Unaware, the convoy rolled deeper into its doom. Every mile forward brought them closer to destruction. By dawn, America's strike machine was already in motion. 300 troops split with surgical precision. 40 special forces, 2 ranger companies, every role defined. Above them, an Apache gunship-weighted Hellfire locked. Higher still, an AC 130-watt Spectre loomed in orbit. The Reaper marked every target, unseen but relentless. On the ground, stockpiles of rockets, ammo, and medkits stood ready. If joined with the mountain labs, profits could soar by $1 billion. The calculus was simple: strike now or let the empire thrive. Encrypted orders rippled outward: execute. Radio chatter cut through the valley call signs, map grids. Medics laid out triage stations ready for the wounded. Calm before impact, the trap minutes from springing. At exactly 10:00 a.m., the convoy neared the kill zone. With one final order: execute, the trap was sprung. At 10 a.m., the mountains of Sierra Verde erupted. 30mm rounds stitched craters before the lead truck. The convoy halted, paralyzed by shock and dust. 200 U.S. soldiers surged forward from hidden ridgelines. Their opening volley shredded cartel escort vehicles. 6,000 rounds thundered in minutes. The cartel answered with wild AK and RPG fire. Explosions lit the valley floor, chaos everywhere. U.S. formations held, advancing under cover fire. 10 Americans fell wounded in the opening clash. Apaches roared, neutralizing cartel heavy weapons. 30 cartel fighters lay dead. The rest broke into panic. Rangers cut off escape routes with precision fire. The once invincible convoy lay smoldering in ruins. Yet the mission was only half finished. The mountain labs still churned. The convoy was down, but the real battle lay ahead. 100 U.S. soldiers pressed upward into the Sierra Verde stronghold. Apache rotors thundered above, shielding their climb. The Reaper painted targets with cold precision. At the ridge, the stronghold came into view: 8 concrete bunkers. Inside, labs churned 10 tons of meth each week. The strike began with controlled violence. Explosives tore open the gates, unleashing chaos inside. Cartel guards fired wildly from windows and alleys, but disciplined formations crushed resistance within minutes. 22 were arrested alive. The rest lay incapacitated. Inside, shelves sagged under 1.2 million package doses. Ledgers, satellite phones, and the cartel commander himself. He surrendered without a shot, severing the chain of command. By 11 a.m., the compound was under complete U.S. control. Evidence cataloged trucks, seized suspects flown out. But command had one more order: erase it forever. At noon, the order was clear: demolition phase, execute. Charges laced through every lab, every bunker. Years of empire would vanish in minutes. 76 tons of meth, $200 million in cash seized. Analysts estimated the losses: over $1.5 billion in profit, erased. At 1230, the valley shook with controlled blasts. Concrete crumbled, steel vats folded like tin. The empire's flagship operation reduced to rubble. 10 Americans were wounded, all stabilized and evacuated. The cartel lost over 30 fighters, dozens captured alive. Overwhelming firepower applied with surgical restraint. Convoy trucks impounded cash sealed in armored containers. Helicopters ferried detainees towards secure facilities. The strike severed a supply chain capable of 50 million doses. From Miami to Los Angeles, the ripple would be felt. No fortress, no convoy, no empire is beyond reach. By afternoon, smoke curled over the Sierra Verde mountains. Convoy trucks impounded evidence cataloged. Helicopters lifted prisoners towards secure sites. The cartel's empire had lost its beating heart. 50 million doses prevented from poisoning streets. From Miami to Los Angeles, shockwaves rippled. No cartel stronghold, no fortress is untouchable. The Sierra Verde cartel had gambled everything and lost. For nearby villagers, the sound was not war, it was freedom. For the cartel, their shadow over these lands vanished. 10 American soldiers wounded, their sacrifice remembered. but their fight erased an empire of poison. Across borders, cartel networks trembled. The illusion of invincibility was gone. By sunset, helicopters lifted the last forces away. The crater remained a scar carved into cartel history. For the US, it was more than a raid, it was a message. No empire, no matter how remote, is beyond reach. For years, they trafficked billions until today. The Sierra Verde cartel fell in one day, its empire erased. By nightfall, silence returned to the Sierra Verde mountains. The stronghold that once fed nations lay in ruins. In one sweep, an empire of poison was erased. The cartel commander captured his empire shattered. An empire valued at billions lost in a single day. For locals, it was the dawn of liberation. For America, it was proof of resolve. From valleys of fire to skies of steel, the mission was complete. Cartel empires rise, but today one fell. The cartel's shadow ended, but its story warns us all. September 15th, the day an empire vanished. No fortress stands forever against coordinated resolve. The cartel's gamble ended in fire and ash. This was more than a mission, it was history written in fire. For those who fought, their story lives on. And for the cartel, their empire ended before nightfall. The crater remained a scar carved into cartel history. For the US, it was more than a raid, it was a message. No empire, no matter how remote, is beyond reach. For years, they trafficked billions until today. The Sierra Verde cartel fell in one day, its empire erased. By nightfall, silence returned to the Sierra Verde mountains. The stronghold that once fed nations lay in ruins. In one sweep, an empire of poison was erased. The cartel commander captured his empire shattered. An empire valued at billions lost in a single day.